Okay, Red Lipstick Up. I found the way. I found the time to watch these talk back, look backs. You know the deal. We're going to do the talk back first. Here's episode 1 for you. Hey everybody, I'm back. Welcome to Red Lipstick Reality TV. If you're new here, hey guys, welcome to my channel. We're talking about everything reality TV. Right now though, we're really focused on Sister Wives because there's apparently so much happening that's not being streamed on HBO Max or Discovery Plus. But we're here, so if you want to come back, have a good time with us, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video. I really appreciate your support. For all my Red Lipstick Club people, hey y'all, welcome back you guys. Okay, I'm going to tell you really quick. I almost boycotted doing this. When I saw that they were not going to stream this on HBO Max, not stream this on Discovery Plus, I was very upset because there are so many fans like myself that pay for those services to watch this show. Why they would put something like this that has actual fan questions associated with it on the cable network, to where unless you were purchasing cable to get to watch the show, you can't see these. You can only see the clips. So to everyone that hasn't been able to see it, I am so sorry, you guys. Let me know if you want me to maybe jump on a live and I can play the audio and we can do that. I'm more than happy to do that for you guys because honestly, I just think it's ridiculous that they did not have this available for everybody to see. But I'm still going to review it and recap it because there was quite a bit of stuff that happened. And right now I'm going to do the first one. There's been 2 releases so far, y'all. So the first one that they did was, let me get my notes, the talk back part 1. So they did a talk back and then they did a look back. So the talk back is them looking at, this time it's looking at episode 1 of season 18. And then I'm going to drop another video for you guys where I recap the actual look back. That is a look back on the whole family's lives up until this point on television. At this point, you guys, I hope you enjoyed your holiday. I took a nice break. Honestly, I needed it for the holiday. I got to spend time with my family. Got to take some real vacation time and time off my normal job as well. It was very much needed. Sorry I didn't put any videos out, but for me, it was a necessary break. And I'm like, I've been doing YouTube for 5 seconds, but I don't know how these people keep going for years and years and years and never take a break. If I don't take a break, I will get burnt out and I'll be no fun and you won't want to watch these videos. So I'm going to do what I have to do to make it so I actually want to get on this camera and actually talk about a show that I have loved for so many years. But Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year to everybody. All the happy holidays to you. Hope it was as pleasant as it could be. Some of us have some interesting memories tied to holidays. So I just say hope it was as good as it could be for you. With that being said, y'all, hey, let's talk about this talk back. So 5 segments. I'm just going to kind of point out things that kind of stood out for me watching it. But the opening scene, they're like walking into their houses and stuff and doing little selfie films. And Cody's like, you know, turning on his charm and talking about how they're going to do this look back. And Mary does it too. And then he goes with Robyn and says, hey, we're going to go watch it. And Robyn looks like dead in the face. Like she looks so mad and upset. And I'm like, girl, I don't know why you're mad about this. This is your only job. This is the only way you're bringing in income into the house. You only have the 2 younger kids now. And I find it interesting, if you guys have been watching, whose was it? I posted it in my community tab, the interview that Christine did. Y'all, when Christine said she doesn't know what that man does for a living outside of the show, that's crazy to me. That you were married to that man for that long and you have no idea what he does for a living, which tells me he's doing a lot of nothing, but spending their money. But anywho, I thought it was funny that Robyn looks so depressed about having to do this. And mainly it's because she has so much guilt that she just will not own it. I'm like, girl, just own the guilt, right? At this point. I think she just is really feeling like how she has really contributed to the demise of this family. It's really starting to weigh on her. And the reason why it's not weighing on Cody is because we know why it's not. He doesn't have any empathy for anybody or anything. And that's why it's not impacting him the same that it's impacting Robyn. Mary's like, I'm going to take my own trash out during this segment. I thought that was kind of funny, actually. And she looks like she's definitely relaxed. A lot of the wrinkles in her forehead and face have all of a sudden diminished, and I don't believe from filler. I literally think from not having as much stress in her life. Letting that go, letting go of Cody, I swear, gave her 10 years of her life back. Like, all the women that have left him, all three of the OGs, once they left him, it was all a glow up for them, physically and emotionally. But they all look better after leaving him. Because dealing with a man like that will put a lot of stress on your face and your body. As they start watching the look back of episode 1, Mary calls out the fact that Cody seems like a different person. We have heard this repeated multiple times from all the different wives. Even Robyn has said he seems like a different person. Cody, the process of elimination, when you look at this, is you have to at some point look in the mirror and say, it can't be a coincidence that even my favorite wife is saying I'm a different person. And not in a good way. So at some point, there has to be some level of self-reflection. And I just think it's interesting to me that this man doesn't want to do any self-reflection whatsoever. As they're going forward, y'all, they're showing little clips of Cody with all his different hair. So they're basically taking fan questions. And one of the questions was focused on Cody's hair, which, you know, that's like a topic of discussion and trolling that we do for Cody. I'll be honest, his hair right now doesn't look bad. It actually looks like he takes really good care of it. It just is a weird length, and he just doesn't want to let go of it, of the front of it. So it's got these weird random tendrils hanging down. But as far as like the health of his hair actually looks really healthy. It's probably the healthiest it's been in his entire life. And he had like one picture that showed him with like a buzz cut, and he actually looked really great with the buzz cut. And I feel like he should just go with that look. I feel like he's totally fine. Maybe, he doesn't necessarily go all the way bald, but if he decided to kind of take his hair down, I don't think Cody would look bad. But he really wants to hold on to that hair and dye it, because you know that's not the color of his hair anymore. Then they asked Janelle what she would tell her younger self. And this was a really important part of this episode, I thought, because she basically said that she would tell her younger self, number one, to have more boundaries. When it comes to boundary setting, that is something that is so important to me. All my friends and family know I preach about setting boundaries all day long, because I think a lot of the generational trauma that we see in families comes from people not establishing their own personal boundaries of what they will and will not accept. And also being afraid of confrontation, healthy confrontation, and having those difficult conversations, and then just brushing things under the rug instead, or letting things fester and build up until you explode, rather than having a meaningful conversation where you actually have some sort of real resolution from it. And you can tell that Janelle avoided for years having tough conversations, not just with her sister wives or with Cody, but when it came to her children, I think that was extremely detrimental to her kids, because I think at times when, for instance, when Logan was taking care of all the kids every morning, that was a tough conversation that Janelle needed to have with Cody. And she needed to say, hey, look, he is not the adult here. He's not the father here. You are. My child, Logan, and he was a child, should not be responsible for all of his siblings, because I have to go to work, because we have to bring in multiple sources of income into this home. And she just would not do that. And I'm hoping now and for the rest of her life going forward that she no longer lets her avoidance of difficult conversations be a detriment to herself or her children. So I thought that was something else interesting about Janelle that came out of some of these questions. Janelle calls out Cody on his like fake anger surrounding his marriage to Christine. And we're also seeing Janelle call out to, like, this really just has nothing more than to do with his ego. And he also brings up how his wife never asked him how he was doing, even though he was being a terrible guy then. She never took the time to ask how he was feeling, how he was dealing with it. And Janelle counters and says, well, you didn't ask me either. And I think that's something really important to think about, that Cody he wants them to have this sister-wife relationship. But when they are in a situation where they might lose a sister-wife, It's like their feelings surrounding the situation are null and void. He didn't even bother to ask her, man, Janelle, I know that Christine has been very integral into your life, into the raising of your children, our children. How do you feel about this? How can I make this an easier transition for you as well? Because I think Janelle would have been happy to say, you know what? Thank you, Cody, for that. I know that you're not as comfortable with my relationship with Christine. What's a happy medium that we can do that I can make it also a smooth transition for you as well? I feel like Janelle would have been happy to meet Cody in the middle on that if Cody did it to her, but he wasn't. It was all or nothing with him because he's a narcissist and it has to be all about him. So I just thought that was interesting how she called that out. And when you think about Janelle, like I said, how close Christine is to her kids, for her kids, most of Janelle's kids, they look at Christine as their mom. She basically raised them, especially Gabe, Garrison. They talk a lot about how Christine was their mom. So how you think that she can just be removed from the family and that's just going to be an easy transition for Janelle, and all of a sudden she's supposed to become besties with Robyn, who has had no form of responsibility of helping in the child rearing for her kids, and vice versa. You've been living in separate homes this entire time. That's not going to happen overnight. So I just thought it just shows that this whole one family thing is a complete farce in my book. I just think it's a total farce for him. I thought there's also a great call out from Janelle on this episode is that she says that it's his house. And when they show the clips back of him talking about the boys and getting a Airbnb and how they really didn't feel welcome at his home, and he's like, well, I already have a house. And Janelle calls out to say, like, isn't that interesting that his home with Robyn is considered his house, but the homes of the other wives are not his houses? And it just shows another example of the favoritism. And for him, he'll say, oh, this house is Robyn's house. Well, it's not just Robyn's house. It's your house. You look at this as your house. You don't look at the other wives as your house because as far as you're concerned, you don't really have a marriage with these women. It's all a farce. You've been lying the whole time. And Mary calls out too at this point that he's been basically doing the same thing to her for years. The back and forth, just the whole fakeness of the relationships. Basically saying he was out of it before she got to say that she didn't say she was done, but he got to say he was done. And that's what Cody has complained a lot about with Christine, is that Christine's able to say they're done. Janelle's been able to say they're done, and he didn't get to say so. It really just comes down to the point that he is all about his ego. And if he's not the one to end it, then nobody gets to end it. And that's why he's so upset about Janelle and Christine, because they left him. He didn't leave them. Moving on, y'all, you guys, it's segment 2. So this is in segment 2. They show a meme of Coyote Pass with like a 2100 themed like skyscrapers in the back, as if like it's in the future, like Coyote Pass in the future, but there's still nothing built on the property but Robyn's dad's picnic table. And not one of them could actually refute what they were seeing, because they all know nobody's ever going to build on Coyote Pass, and we all know this. So it's just hilarious. And it's just like, this man convinced them to sell all their homes so you could trap them into this Coyote Pass for you guys to never even build on Coyote Pass. The ultimate scammer, y'all. Also, Cody trying to force relationship with Robyn and Janelle is really comical to me. I like that he's constantly putting words in Janelle's mouth, and it's interesting how Robyn subtly is calling him out for this, because she'll be like, well, when did she say that? Or who did she say that? Did she actually say that? And he's actually having to double back and say, well, she didn't say that, but that's how I interpreted it. That's how I feel. So you've been putting words in these women's mouth, which I'm pretty sure in all the conversations you've been having with Robyn, when you're talking about these women, you're making up stories about what really happened instead of actually saying what the truth is. So now I'm understanding. It's what you interpreted things to be, not necessarily what was actually said. I got you, Cody. Okay. So I just thought that was interesting. She kind of called him out for that. And also him trying to force Janelle to have this relationship with Robyn and Mary. Like, Cody, Janelle sucked it up when it came to Mary and Robyn for the sake of the whole family when you were doing your job as a father to her children. Once you dropped that ball, she was no longer going to keep up the facade that she really had any interest in having a relationship with these women. And mainly because she didn't trust them, just like Christine didn't. So why you would think she'd want to have a relationship with Robyn is odd to me. She doesn't. It's not going to happen. I do like this. I'm going to give Robyn a little bit of kudos because she calls Cody out. Finally, for 5 whole seconds, she calls him out. But she basically calls him out for his constant blaming of the sister wives for everything. And instead of bringing any focus on how his relationships with his wives has contributed to what's happened. And honestly, Robyn, that's one of the best things you said. And I feel like if any other wife would have said that to him, he would have said they were trash talking him. But because Robyn said it, he actually took it in for a moment and thought about it and then tried to adjust what he was saying. Because he only did that because Robyn's basically saying, you're blaming me too in this. Because she doesn't want to take any blame for anything. So that's when he made the adjustment. But had she not proposed it that way, I think he still would have blamed the other women. But if Robyn's lumped into it, now all of a sudden he's going to find a reason for that to actually to backtrack and that not to be the case. So he keeps bringing up the whole family picture, and I'm like, Cody, you can't have that when you show favoritism. I don't know how many times we need to say that, but I feel like it's pretty clear that a polygamous family doesn't work in a one whole family setting when you're showing clear and blatant favoritism to one of the wives. There's just no way. Why would any woman want to live in a home where they're having a loveless and with marriage with no intimacy, and then across the hallway you're having a full relationship, a full fellowship marriage with love, intimacy, respect with another wife? Why would I put myself in a situation like that? Also, financially, these women are getting smarter. They're out in the real world now. They're understanding the financial trap of polygamy. Why would I financially trap myself in this situation? So then I'm actually stuck. So even if you lied to me and told me you were going to work on things and you were going to get better, you could just lie to me and then have me financially trapped in this one home. And I'd walk away with nothing if I decided to actually leave and live for myself. So I don't know the delusion that he has surrounding that one home concept. And I can't say that he's wrong when he brought up the idea of a one home, that maybe it didn't spark something in Christine, because I'm sure it did, because Christine literally saw her life flash before her eyes. She's like, why would I do that to myself? And you're not going to throw me in the basement again. Yeah, it's triggering. It's triggering when you have trauma surrounding a one home situation. So I just found that interesting that he just does not get that. And he literally takes no accountability. And it's like, you can't drop the ball in all the other marriages and think that this one whole family is just going to stay together and everything is going to stay the same. That's the whole point of you having to maintain each individual marriage. Because if your whole family, the idea of having that big family is your dream and your calling, and because also the way you feel about that wife has clearly dictated how you treat those kids and connected to that wife, you would think you would do more work to actually make sure that all of those marriages are intact. Moving on, so the mistake Robyn made was not engaging Christine in the child rearing. That's something that really stands out to me, because that's really what created that family bond. And I think if Robyn would not have tried to pretend that she really wanted the plural family, because I think if she would have said, you know what, I'm going to trust Christine to help raise my children, that would have been a totally different scenario, because her kids would have been even more invested in the other moms. And she would not have been able to manipulate them as much if that had happened. So Robyn knew what she was doing, because she is controlling and she wanted to have control over her kids. And she knew that there was a possibility that her kids might even enjoy what their lives would be like if Christine was in charge of them. So she did that on purpose. And now then she's wondering after the fact, well, why don't I have a relationship with Christine? Because you alienated Christine from your life. I mean, you did not allow for her to build trust with you through raising children. That's what polygamous women do. You're putting the trust, you're putting your kids in their hands. So you have to trust them. But if you don't do that, really hard to trust those people. So I thought that was interesting. I also too think when you look at divorce and like how Cody basically is just so not present. And I think that both my parents are divorced. We actually lived with my dad when my parents got divorced, which is very rare that the children live with their dad. But I just personally had a better relationship with my dad at that point. But even still, you know, even though I didn't have the best relationship with my mom, it didn't mean my mom wasn't trying. Even when we weren't getting along, I didn't really care to see her that much because just was not good. It didn't stop her from trying or attempting to. And even though she was so mad at my dad, and they're so mad at each other, it never stopped my mom or my dad from wanting to either see us, be around us, spend time with us, and especially my mom, because we lived in a different home than her, for her making an effort to want to see us. So even through all the pain and the struggles she was going through. So just to hear Cody make excuses about being kicked out of the home and that's why he's not making the effort to be with his kids is just such a joke to me. You make effort and time for things you want to make effort and time for. I've physically seen it myself. Doesn't matter if you're the man or the woman, but to see a man act like it's everybody else's fault but his as to why he's not seeing his children, give me a break, guy. Grow up. Also, too, this is where they were showing the clip where Cody was asking if Robyn and Mary wanted to weigh in, and Robyn said, well, no, we don't want to weigh in. We want to stay neutral. And I said, I find it funny that what issues Robyn feels okay with weighing in on, because she's very comfortable consistently weighing in on Mary's relationship. So I just find it interesting that she didn't want to weigh in on this. And she felt very comfortable jumping into the text stream and weighing in on how the kids were doing Christmas, but, you know, and did not at all stay neutral in that situation. Blamed everybody else for how her kids were feeling. But hey, she gets to pick and choose what she weighs in on and what happens to be convenient for her. Moving on, y'all, segment 3. Okay, so Mary thinks it's funny and a joke, what Mary thinks is funny, y'all, is really not funny to us. We all feel embarrassed for her when she's saying like, oh, this is like a fake hug from Cody. She thinks that's funny in a joke. There's nothing funny in a joke about you pretending you got a hug from Cody via a coat. It's just, there's nothing funny about that. And I wish somebody would tell her that it's not funny. It's actually embarrassing. And it makes us feel sorry for you. Nobody's laughing at that. I think it would have been funnier had she said that and she had already left him. And we knew that she had moved on, was flourishing and thriving. And then she said something like that, then it would be funny. But it's not funny when you're actively trying to save a marriage with a man that doesn't care about you. And then for you to double down on that and say, I'm getting a fake hug from him. It's like, what? Like, why would you be joking about that if you're trying to fix a marriage? That doesn't add up for me. I don't believe you when you say that was a joke. Robyn, during this whole period, she's so delulu, you guys. Like, she's so delusional. And I'm just like, Robyn, these women are fed up. Like, how much longer do you think they want to play third wheel to your marriage? Like, who wants to do that? And why would you want somebody to do that? That's very odd to me. I'm like, I guess I play third wheel to my gay bestie's marriage, but I feel great when I'm with them. These women don't, because I don't want any of them romantically. I just love them because they're my besties. But these women romantically want Cody, and they have to play third wheel to a man that they want, but doesn't care that they're even there. Why would somebody want to do that willingly? Like, who wouldn't get fed up of that, Robyn? Like, come on. Why would I want to stay in that? She also, you know, like, also too, I think she keeps forgetting, like, that she made this promise that if Cody wasn't happy anymore, that they would leave, like, that he wouldn't stay in that marriage. And when she acts like she has no idea that him and Christine were having issues, she has no idea what was going on in the family. I'm like, you clearly knew from the beginning, which is why you made this promise to each other at the very beginning of your marriage, because you knew that he was basically lying to his other wives about how he felt with them, and he was staying in what he considered to be loveless marriages, and you didn't want to look stupid like the rest of the women that were in these marriages where he was lying to them and telling them that he loved them, when in fact he's been acting apparently this whole time and didn't love any of them ever. I just find that funny. I think too that he wants this one home thing as well, because I think he's trying to compete with like the Dargers. But you can't compete with a man as strong as the Darger husband, who has put in the clearly put in the time and work and effort with each one of his marriages. Like when you witnessed him with each one of those wives, I'm not saying that it's perfect. There's no way polygamy can be perfect. But it sure did seem like that man had a solid grip on each one of those marriages. It didn't feel like there was any favoritism. I didn't even get an inkling of a feel of favoritism when he was with his 3 wives. Even when I think about Brady from My 5 Wives, even when there was a hint of it and they would call him out for it, he would quickly adjust his behavior. Because whether or not it was true that he did favor them, he certainly wasn't going to let these women have to live feeling that that's what the case was. He was not going to put them through that. Cody doesn't care if you feel that way. He's going to keep doing what he's doing and allow for you to feel this jealousy and rage associated with a man that's playing favorites. He doesn't care if it hurts you or not. This is also too where Christine called out the fact that Robyn was in all these counseling sessions when they were talking about the breakdowns in the marriages. So why do you keep acting like you had no clue? When you were talking with Mary a couple seasons back, you even said you had heard that she was leaving back when you were in Vegas. So why are you playing Boo Boo the Fool now? I'm very confused by that, Robyn. Then they talk about Cody saying that maybe he should have just went with them being separate families and separate homes, and that would have worked. I said, well, no, it wouldn't have, because just like Christine said, he's only in love with Robyn. He doesn't want to leave Robyn's house. So even if you had the separate homes, you still would not be equally dividing your time. You'd make an excuse to say Robyn has younger kids, even though her Solomon's basically the same age as Truly. You would make an excuse for why you were continuously spending more time with Robyn than the other wives. And everybody knows that that's what you would do. So it still wouldn't work. It wouldn't matter if they were in different homes. He also says, like, he always acts like Christine. He said, well, Christine just said she didn't want the one family. I said, no, Christine says she doesn't want a one home where you are not being equal with your time, love, and affection to all of your wives and all of your children. That's what she's saying. It's not one family to her if you're not fair. If you're not going to be fair, she doesn't want to have any parts of it. Period. It's no longer polygamy for her. Also, too, this is where Christine calls out Robyn and basically says, your kids were safe. Like, Cody played favorites, and that's why we're in this situation that we're in, full stop. We're not going to play this game, Robyn, of you talking about your kids weren't safe. Your kids are perfectly safe. Unfortunately, Cody played favorites. And because of that, there's going to be animosity with the other kids towards your children because they think that they're getting something that they're not, which they are. And unfortunately, Cody was the one to fix that, and he didn't. So because he didn't, now look where y'all are at. But you don't want to put any accountability or responsibility on Cody. So here we go. Moving on, y'all, segment 4. Cody's saying everything prior to Robyn was dysfunctional. I think that's a complete joke. I'm not saying that they probably didn't have toxic moments. Was it perfect? Absolutely not, because we've seen multiple instances where it was not perfect, but it was at least a functioning situation. I don't think it was dysfunctional. It was functioning. It wasn't as good as it could be, but a lot of that has to do with Cody's lack of leadership and his narcissistic ego. That's why a lot of their issues occurred. Cody blaming his kids' activities on why all the family traditions stopped is another joke. And Robyn acting like she was so devastated that these things stopped. Well, you know what, Robyn? If you were so adamant about these things happening, why weren't you hosting anything at your house? Christine was the only one hosting anything. If Christine didn't host it, nothing was going to happen. And we all witnessed that. And also, this is where Cody says, nobody knows who Robyn is. And I said, well, I can blame Robyn for that. She's had 18 seasons to show us exactly who she wants us to know her to be. So if she wanted me to know her as somebody different, maybe she should have thought about that in the last 18 seasons that she's been on international television. Because the only judgment I have is based off what she's shown me. Had she shown me something different, I might have a different opinion of her. So I don't know what you want me to tell you, Robyn. I mean, that's kind of up to you, isn't it? Moving right along. I doubt that Mary and Christine will ever connect again, but I do like this little segment where Mary's basically talking about their relationship, and I thought that was a really positive moment. And also, too, when Robyn basically used the moment where Christine says she didn't want to be connected to the adults, the other adult women in the family, as an excuse to make her kids victims once again, to want to isolate Christine even further from them and to create even more division. Like, Christine never said one time that she didn't want to see her children. From the beginning, Christine has been on board with her kids. So, not letting Christine help raise them, trying to find ways to isolate them. It's all because Robyn is scared that, I honestly feel she's scared that her kids will like Christine more than they like her. I really think that's what it is, y'all. As crazy as that sounds, I feel like that's why she does what she does. She wants to be the favorite even with her kids, which I feel like your kids would naturally feel that way. You're their mom. Even if they loved another mom, it doesn't take away from who you are to them. But okay. He also says to Cody, and this woman says that he thinks he can get along with Mary. And the reason he thinks that is because Mary's holding her tongue through this. She's not even really being that honest about how she really feels about Cody and what type of man he really is. And she expects nothing from him because he hasn't given her anything in a decade. So of course she has less expectations, and she only had one kid. So when you have one kid, you have less expectations of the man. These other two women had 6 kids apiece. They need more of you, boo-boo. Hello. Moving on. Last segment of this episode, y'all, was segment 5. It talked about old Salsa Brava and being an employee there and having to watch this mess go down. I really need to get up to Flagstaff, y'all. You guys know I live in Arizona, and I really need to get up to Flagstaff and do like a Flagstaff pilgrimage and stop at all the places that are part of Sister Wives. That would be kind of a fun tour to take. Robyn making excuses about Cody when he had COVID, like he's like such a hero because he was like all about the kids and watching the kids because she was dying. And I think I've kind of identified a problem here, you guys, because he contributed to the home of Robyn's, like, and he contributed to that home because he was in love with her and he was actually cared if she was happy or not, and also was concerned whether or not he would be able to keep her or lose her. And I don't think he cared about the happiness of Christine or Janelle or any of the other wives. And I think he also that Christine was trapped back then because Christine didn't have all the skills to be able to go out and get her own employment and be able to take care of all those children. And he took full advantage of that. So he never really made any effort to like help her with anything because he really wasn't worried about her going anywhere. And he didn't get worried until she started actually getting independence and basically putting him on notice. Like, if you don't step up, I'm stepping out. So I think this is the delusional world that she lives in, where, you know, she doesn't realize that the man that he's showing up as for her is not the man that he showed up as for the rest of these women. And that's unfortunate. You can be his best, you can treat him like your best customer when he is not a Karen. It's a lot easier to take care of that customer. I felt Christine when she said like she loved that she got to like end the marriage. Girl, I felt you for that. And Cody's whole focus on trash talking, y'all. It's like, get over it, Cody. Nobody is trash talking you. Like, it's not trash talk. It's being honest about the situation and what's going on and what's happening. That's it. It's just, it's honesty. Just like you're being honest, do you think what you're doing is trash talking? I mean, we probably say it would be. But for you, do you think you being honest about not loving any of these women is trash talking? Or do you think it's just you being honest? They're doing nothing more than what you're doing to them. And they're actually being nicer about it. So, either way, y'all, hey, that was the first talk back. Episode 1. My episode 2 is going to be delayed because I have to wait. I have to watch it on cable, and I only have that at my home, and I will not be at home for New Year's Eve when they're showing it. So I'm going to have to wait until probably Tuesday or so, hopefully, to watch it. And then be able to maybe get a video out for that one on Wednesday. I'm going to shoot for that. But the way it's set up now with how they're streaming it makes it really difficult for a lot of us to watch it. And like I said, I can try to do it. We can see if that works, if I can play the audio from my cable. So some of you guys can at least hear what happened. And this look back, let me know if you want me to try live and attempt to see if I can do that. Put it in the comments below, and we'll see if I can at least give you guys a chance to listen to the audio if you haven't been able to watch it yet. But yeah, TLC, I'm putting y'all on notice for this. You need to get back to streaming. This is unacceptable for you to just only have this on TLC cable. Give me a break. Or if people are like doing streaming cable through like Hulu or whatever, I shouldn't have to pay for an extra service when I'm already paying for one to watch the show. Like, make it make sense. Anyway, I hope you guys had a fun time talking with me today. Sorry, no clips. Way too hard to get clips the way this thing is set up. Hopefully they'll fix it when they do some more episodes. I'm hoping that they'll actually stream Christine's wedding, so that'll be easier to do. But I at least want to get a video and let you guys know how I felt about the talkback episode. Until next time, hit the like button. Leave me some comments below. Tell me what you thought about the talkback, what you thought about them actually giving some commentary to what we've been watching. And don't forget to share the video and hit the subscribe button, of course. Until next time, y'all, I'll see you later. Bye.